Hello and welcome to the Dearborn Heights Community and Cultural Relations Commission and Western Wayne NAACP Dearborn Heights DEI Candidate Forum for the November 2nd general election. This is the forum for candidates running for Dearborn Heights City Council. My name is Latanya Gator and I am the chairperson of the CCRC. This program is presented and produced as a public service. Both the Dearborn Heights Community and Cultural Relations Commission and Western Wayne NAACP are nonpartisan organizations that never supports or opposes candidates or political parties. On November 2nd, voters will be able to select 4 of the 6 candidates running for the 4-year term for City Council. There is also a partial term seat ending 12/31/23 for which voters will be able to select one of the 2 candidates running. For additional information regarding other elections on the ballot, please contact the Dearborn Heights Clerk Office or visit vote411.org. Due to the fluid restrictions related to COVID-19 pandemic, tonight's forum is being held virtually. We and the candidates are interacting tonight through the Zoom platform, and the recording that you are watching has been released in its entirety. Now I am pleased to introduce the moderator of tonight's forum, Gina Wilson Stewart, President of the Western Wayne NAACP chapter.
Good evening. Today is Monday, October 18th, and we are recording this program with the Zoom platform. The NAACP and Dearborn Heights Community and Cultural Relations Committee are not responsible for the views expressed by the candidates. The candidates have agreed to the following plan. The first candidate is to speak has been determined by alphabetical order. Therefore, the order of responses will be rotated. Each candidate will have 90 seconds to make an opening statement and 90 seconds to answer each question. We will end with each candidate having 1 minute to make a final statement. The timekeeper is Heather Nicholson-Bester, a Dearborn Heights Community and Cultural Relations member. We'll show a timer, give a 10-second verbal warning, and say stop to notify the candidate when their time expires. The questions are a mixture of those developed by the CCRC, Western Wayne NAACP, and those solicited from the community prior to the forum. All questions have been screened to prevent duplication and personal attacks and to ensure that questions address all the candidates. Time will not allow for all the questions to be asked, and we encourage you to contact the candidates directly if you have questions, if not answered. Dahak, we're going to start off with you. Please, question number 1, please provide biographical information and experience, including community involvement, and explain why you are running for this office.
Okay.
Time starts when you talk.
First, thank you for inviting us. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you and to our residents. My name is Zuhair Abdulhaq, resident of Dearborn Heights since 1992. Very involved in the public life, in the Crestwood School, in Dearborn, Dearborn Heights, both city councils in Dearborn and Dearborn Heights, and both school district in Dearborn and Dearborn Heights. I always attended and helped in passing funds, bonds, and other things for the schools. My education, I have a bachelor degree in science in electrical engineering from Wayne State University. And I have a graduate diploma in business administration from Cairo American University in Egypt. I have worked for several corporations, US corporations, including General Electric, Lockheed Martin. I was project engineer in Egypt for the Egyptian Air Defense.
10 seconds.
I'm sorry, how many seconds? Hello?
10 seconds.
Okay. I was appointed to zoning board, to commission, housing commission. I was appointed the treasurer for the city, and I was appointed for city council on January 26th.
Time. That's time.
That went too fast.
Yeah, it does go fast. So we're going to finish up with, I'm going with question number 1. Hassan, you're next. Hassan Ahmed.
Good evening, everyone. First, I would like to, can you hear me? Good evening, everyone. First, I'm also an associate real estate broker with
We have a really bad connection. Try it again. You try it again.
Can you hear me? Hello?
That's a lot better. Yes.
In 2007, should I start from the beginning or?
Yes, let's restart your time because it was a real bad connection.
Yep.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes, much better.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. First, I would like to thank the Community and Cultural Relation and the NAACP Dearborn Heights for the invitation this evening. My name is Hassan Ahmad, a husband and proud father of 3 beautiful children, and I'm also an associate real estate broker with RE/MAX Leading Edge in Dearborn Heights. With nearly 2 decades of experience in the real estate business, I have also earned a master's in business and a bachelor in computer engineering. In 2017, I was honored to be appointed to the City Tax Appeal Board, where I assist residents with tax concern, ensuring fair treatment for all. In 2018, I was appointed by Governor Snyder to the Michigan Board of Real Estate Brokers and Salesperson and was elected president of the Dearborn Area Board of Realtors in 2020. Community service is something I'm passionate about. I take joy in helping organizations fulfill their vision and work to build stronger, healthier, and more vibrant communities. I currently serve on multiple boards, including the treasurer of the LAHC, and I am a current ambassador to the RE/MAX Children American Network and American Cancer Society. I'm running to advance the stream of civil and public service for my family and all families residing in our Dearborn Heights community. When elected, I will represent the entire city and its residents. I'm committed to ensuring all residents' voices and concerns are heard, acknowledged, and addressed. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next is Nancy Breyer.
Yes, I believe I'm unmuted. All right. My family has been in the area since 1946. I personally have been here over 50 years. I have 2 children, 2 grandchildren. My children have graduated college and my daughter's 2 children are currently in college. My parents were active in this city. I am now active in this city. And I have priority lists, but let's give you a little bit more of the background. I was a realtor for 35 years plus, and I also am currently the president of the Dearborn Heights, South Dearborn Heights Civic Association. I've been active in Girl Scouting in the area for 20 years, mostly as an adult. And I have an associate's degree in criminal justice, a paralegal from Tacoma Community College in Washington State. I've worked the local elections since I returned to the state in 2009. I attend most city council meetings in person and on Zoom. I am a member of the Women's Commission and the Van Born Quarter, and I was appointed by Mayor Paletko. Currently, I am the lead person for the Ecorse Creek Commission, appointed by Mayor Bazzi. I've worked for General Motors, Ford Motor, Boeing Airplane Company, and I also have been owner of a mobile home park in the western part of the state.
10 seconds.
All right. I'm also active at the Senior Center in Eaton Senior and Berwyn. And I think I can probably quit right now. Thank you.
Time.
All right, thank you so much. Next, we'll have Robert Constant.
Gina and NAACP of Western Wayne, thank you for hosting this forum. My name is Bob Constant. I'm a lifelong resident of Dearborn Heights, a graduate of Annapolis High School. I have a bachelor in political science and economics from University of Michigan and a Juris Doctorate degree from University of Detroit Mercy. Been an attorney in private practice for 31 years, former 16 district state representative. I'm the father of 3 adult children, former president of the Dearborn Heights Goodfellows, actively involved in the Kiwanis Club, former president of the Dearborn Area Bar Association, and founded and helped run the Ecorse Creek cleanup every year. I have 100% perfect attendance and voting record on the city council, and I'm running for re-election to help oversee the enactment of the budget and make sure that our extra dollars that we're getting this year as the result of the American Recovery Act are well spent. And I'm looking forward to working with the new administration and all the new faces at City Hall. Thank you.
1 second.
All right, thank you. Next, we'll have Rachel Lapointe.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Rachel Lapointe. I'm so honored and excited to be a candidate for City Council. First, I'd like to thank the Community and Cultural Relations Commission and the Western Wayne NAACP for hosting a forum on such an important topic. Having conversations about things that are controversial isn't easy all the time, but it's a necessary and important work, and I'm here for it, and I'm so glad that we're having this. So to share a little bit about myself, my husband Chris and I have been married for 13 years, and we have 4 amazing kids. I graduated from the University of Detroit Mercy with a bachelor's of fine arts, and I've worked in marketing and communications while also obviously juggling all the responsibilities of being a parent. Some of my favorite work has been on our Dearborn Heights absentee voting counting board, doing the processing all the absentee ballots, working with the Dearborn Heights Civic Theater before it closed down, and helping to organize our South End Black Lives Matter walk last year. And that walk was actually a really big part for me of getting more involved with the city, rather than just volunteering with my church or the kids' school or, you know, the usual sort of things. So I tend to be a very optimistic
10
person,
seconds.
and that was really the push for me to jump in head first, you know, right away and start helping more and getting the city in a great place.
All right, great. So we finished the first question. Very good. Great job, guys. So we're going to keep it moving and go to question number 2. Question number 2 says, please provide specific examples of how you have or plan to promote transparency and accountability as it relates to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and how it will work. And we'll start with Hassan Ahmed first.
Sorry, can you repeat the question one more time?
Sure, I can. Please provide specific examples of how you have or plan to promote transparency and accountability as it relates to diversity, equity, and inclusion work.
I would definitely say we are a diverse city, and I would definitely work on promoting Dearborn Heights as a diverse city so people can, because every resident bring a unique and perspective vision to the city. I would support marketing our fantastic city as a welcoming and diverse community, and make sure to allocate resources to serve all residents, regardless of race, national origin, or religious affiliation. It's important to me that we are all inclusive. We advertise Dearborn Heights as an inclusive community, welcoming individuals of all backgrounds to invest in our city. As a real estate agent, I'd like everybody to buy homes in this city, raise their families, and feel supported and understood. Doesn't matter what color they are, from where they come, what language they speak, and what church or mosque they go to. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks. Next, we have Nancy Breyer.
Yes, I think I can help by participating at the local schools, which I'm somewhat involved with, and explaining to the young through older, preferably the high school students, as to why something as this group is necessary and how it will benefit them both in college and as they go into the workplace. I also will incorporate issues of this nature in the neighborhood associations of which I am the president. I hope to have someone from either the NAACP or our local group from the DEI come and speak at one of our meetings. January through October of next year is still available. Every chance I get, I will promote inclusiveness. I went to a school that they thought was 15% black, and then the school across the way at Inkster High School was 15% white. They used to think that was equal. That was not what we call equal. Everyone should have the same opportunity and information available to them as they grow up. Thank you.
Okay, next we'll have Robert Constant.
Thank you, Ms. Stewart. I helped resurrect the Community and Cultural Relations Commission, which was originally founded by Margaret Van Houten, now a circuit court judge, when she was on the city council following a incident where a member of the Detroit Lions had moved into Dearborn Heights. He was African American and faced some terrible discrimination and defacing of his house. I've always worked for fair housing. I'm a member and have been a member of the NAACP of Western Wayne. I helped speak out against the passage of Proposal 2 several years ago, the ban on affirmative action, which unfortunately passed. I've worked with voter registration and voter protection with the UAW, and always worked with our CDBG director to ensure fair housing and no discrimination, and also with our local schools. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Next, we will have Rachel LaPointe.
Thank you. Excuse me. So for me, I think we need to be very intentional about working on diversity and equity and inclusion. And I think we have increased our diversity considerably. Just looking at census numbers, we can see that our city is just becoming more and more diverse, not just, you know, our regular old Dearborn Heights. And I think the trick right now is to focus on accountability. And some of that is going to have to be having conversations that are hard and opening up the opportunity for people to you know, express their grievances. We don't always know if there's a problem, and I think that's a big part of the problem. So a specific thing that I would really hope to see in our city, whether I'm on city council or not, is having clear data, especially when it comes to our police department, of how they interact with all different types of people, and making sure that there's the ability for anybody that ever has an issue with someone in the city, whether it's the police, the fire department, the city council, the mayor, the garbage collector, anybody, if anybody faces any discrimination or hatred, that they are safe enough to report it somewhere, and that they have someone that they can talk to. And then that way we can be transparent about that information and share it with the community so that we all know what's going on. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Zahir Abdul Haq, you're next.
Thank you. I have served on the ADC board. In 2000, I was the president of the board in Detroit, and I served on ACLU board. And since year 2000, I've been very, very involved in making sure that people are represented properly in every way in the government of any place, the city or the state or the country. Since I was appointed to the city council, I passed 2 resolutions to bring the Commission of Act 78, which is responsible to promote and to basically employ city police officers and firefighters. And I brought the Civil Service Commission in front of the City Council, and we questioned how is the process to hire police officer, promote them, or discipline them in any way. So that was something very passionate in my heart, that I would like to see the city reflects its diversity in employment in every way, and the
10
city
seconds.
the city employ the people to be exactly as the city looks like.
And time.
All right, great. We have finished the first two questions. We're on to question number 3, and we will start off with Nancy Breyer. The question is, what initiatives will you push for to create a more welcoming environment for the LGBTQ plus community?
Okay, I think our group that we have right now in the community, that is, well, Rachel knows, I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to mention names. Anyhow, we do have a cultural committee that has sponsored events such as Juneteenth. That brought a great group of people out of all persuasions, whether it be religion, color, nationality, and so forth. And I think we should continue this committee and enhance it and present all the findings we can as we go along. I really hope we can do better in that department. This city reflects many nationalities and personalities, and we should have all of them represented in anything that is put forth by this city. Thank you.
Okay, next we'll have Robert Constant.
Thank you, Gina. I think it's very important that our fair public housing laws be enforced and that there be no discrimination of anyone based on, for example, their sexual preference. I worked when I was state representative in Lansing on having the Elliott Larson Civil Rights Act amended to protect against discrimination for sexual preference or gender expression and identity, which it now does not protect against that. And I think from our school systems on up, we have to have schools that are welcoming of people of all races and people of all sexual preferences and sexual identity. I think the schools, I know D7 has come a long way since the way things were years ago. And our school boards, I hope, will make sure that that trend continues. Thank you.
Okay, next we'll have Rachel Lapointe.
Thank you. So I love this question because I love coming up with ideas. I think there's two parts to this. We need to make sure that our neighborhoods are welcoming for everyone, and especially for our LGBTQ plus community. I have many friends in that community, and the hardest thing for me as their friend is listening to their stories of discrimination. When you're living somewhere and you don't feel like anybody wants to be around you, that's hard. And making sure that our neighborhoods are, you know, anytime that there's like a hate crime or like vandalism, we need to just nip that in the bud right away and make sure that our ordinances and our policing reflect that we will take this very seriously, and we will not let anything happen to a member of our family. Our city's a family. So that would be a big thing for making sure that we have a welcoming environment, that they know that they're welcome here no matter what. And then working with our CCR commission to, have more of a pride presence next year. We had a beautiful rainbow garden that we did this year, and I would love to see us do something a little bit bigger next year for pride. Maybe, not on the level of a parade, but maybe some sort of celebration at one of the libraries or at one of our city parks. I think that there's a great way to celebrate our community in that way.
All right, next we have Zahir Abdul Haq.
Thank you again. I believe we established the Cultural Diversity Commission for a reason. And that is the main reason that we have everybody treated equally in the city. They should have more authority, more role in suggesting to the city government how things can be transformed, how things can be done to welcome everybody at the same way, the same level, so everybody is treated equally as the Constitution, stated. For all of us, we are created equal. And I think the city government should give them more authority and give them a chance to be heard and to bring more issues to the city council and to the administration to be implemented to improve the way of life of everybody in the city.
Okay, last person, Hassan Ahmed.
Thank you. So as a licensed realtor, I do support the Fair Housing Act and promoting the city of Dearborn Heights as a welcoming city for everyone. We need to promote an environment that make people have a sense of belonging, feel of being their own self in the city, to promote an inclusive environment that is a place where all the voices of everyone in the community can be encouraged, heard, and understood. We need to promote respect, acceptance, teamwork, and innovation, despite our differences. When different minds collaborate together to achieve a common goal, which is equality, everybody wins. Thank you very much.
All right, great. Now that ends question number 3. So question number 4. We know that Black and brown people are over-policed. What will you do to ensure that our neighbors and those who visit our city are safe from over-policing and bias policing? And this time we're starting with Nancy.
Oh, I thought I had the last start. You want me to do this one as well?
Oh, so you are so right. So let's go with Robert Constant. Good catch.
Thank you, Gina. Racial profiling is been a important issue. The law is changing, or not the law, but the people's attitudes. The terrible video we all watched of George Floyd being suffocated, and many other incidents that gave rise to the Black Lives Matter movement. We had a march led by LaTanya Gator down in Annapolis and Dearborn Heights about a year ago. This is a very important issue, that the police be trained, that the police have the attitude, not that they're an armed force to attack the people, but their job is to restore peace and order and uphold the law. Recently, we've seen the videos from our neighboring city of Taylor, for example, with an African-American man being drug out of his car. This is all very important, that our officers are trained, aware, and that our police force itself is diverse, and that we have our police force that represents the makeup of our community. Thank you.
All right. Next, we'll go to Rachel Lapointe.
So I think making sure that our police officers are trained and aware of their own implicit biases would be a first step that is easily done by council. We can make that happen. Making sure we have the funding for that, making sure that it's a priority. We can really use our position to push for that. But another important part of that is for those of us who aren't in the position where we're being over policed to speak up when we see things happening. And part of that as a city council member is to be an example to others, to show the behaviors that we want to see. It's just like a parent, you model the behavior you want to see for your kids. So as a person who is more privileged and not facing that sort of discrimination, it's so important for me to call it out, to say, hey guys, we need to do better on this. And in instances like, you know, when we see these videos, like say having somebody to be there for people and to listen to them, I think that that's going to be the sort of example that's going to lead to lasting change that really makes the whole city a safer environment for everyone. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Zahir Abdul Haq.
Thank you again. I just sent to the chairperson for the city council a resolution to create a commission as the charter state for public safety. And the purpose of this is to make sure that all the public are safe when they travel in our city or live in our city. And I want to make sure that this commission has different people from different colors and ethnicities and religions, so they can suggest to the administration and to the city council how we can improve the ways we hire people so we have diversity, how we can train our police officers on diversity, how we can create legislation in the city which welcome people from different colors and religions and races. That is what I'm going to do on the 26th of October, and I hope my colleagues will support me in passing this resolution.
Okay. Next, Hassan Ahmed.
Hi, I believe that there should be an open relationship, open dialogue between the police department and residents of Dearborn Heights that they entrusted to serve and protect by engaging residents in learning about the law enforcement initiative and policies, and and receiving like resident input to allow for open communication to move freely without any boundaries. This will allow residents to understand what their law enforcement officers are doing for them and how they are being protected and what opportunities are available to have further engagement outside the actual enforcement and law ordinances. I would definitely support an advisory board that comprise of residents from different backgrounds, whether they're youth, different ethnicity, different background, seniors, business owners that can communicate with the police department and relay exactly what the resident needs and their concerns. Thank you.
Okay, and now Ms. Nancy Breyer.
Thank you. I would like to see all of our organizations be more reflective of the community. And these people, as you said, black and brown, and for that matter, any and all of any color, should be encouraged to be part of all the organizations, come to the meetings at the city council, in fact, run for city council. They should be asked and invited to neighborhood associations, encouraged to be part of our police, fire departments, and so forth, because they're so badly needed to reflect what we do have in the city, the great diversity we've got and should continue to maintain. They have to be invited and encouraged. They may not know what's happening, but they are definitely needed to be part of this. Thank you.
Okay, so we're moving on to question number 5, and it's going to start off with Robert Constance. And the question is, mental health services in the city are currently inadequate. How will you as a city council member advocate for better mental health support for our community members?
Oops.
That is Robert Constance starting us off. You're on mute.
I'm not now. And you started off with me on the last question, just so you know.
Oh,
But,
my son. Okay, wait a second. So I am off. So let's go with Rachel.
So mental health services is a topic near and dear to my heart because I've dealt with mental illness in myself. And I don't want to call it mental illness, but there's ADHD in my family, me and my kids, but I have great familiarity with mental health services in our city, and they're very inadequate. I think we need to focus on building up our neighborhood groups, because the first spot of place that like people need help is in that sort of everyday thing. I know for so many, when you're struggling with mental health, just getting your basics done around your house is the hardest thing. Getting your lawn mowed, taking a shower some days is nearly impossible. So if we can really build up our neighborhood communities to provide that first level of support, I think we'll go a long way in building a community that is helping to heal people instead of making their challenges harder. And then, encouraging businesses, therapists to come in and have an office in the city is going to be a huge thing to build up, our little office spaces so that we can have therapists that are local, because sometimes it's a pain to drive, who knows where to find somebody that can help you. So doing those two things, I think, will be the first steps to really building a great community.
Okay, thank you. Zahir Abdul Haq.
Thank you again. I believe we should have a commission in the city created and specialized in making recommendation to the administration how to deal with mental health in our city. Especially, we have lots of seniors, we have lots of kids probably with mental problems or drug problems. We should train our EMS people in the fire department on how to treat this kind of illnesses if they are called, in our police department too. If they are called and somebody has mental problem, they should know how to handle him. They should know how to approach him and where to take him if they put him in a car and take him to a hospital. We should allocate some money in the budget for this commission, and I believe we can provide maybe medical kits to some of the residents. We can provide maybe some financial help to parents who don't have money to take care of those kids. And I believe that starts with the city council and with the mayor, and I believe that should happen as soon as possible.
Okay.
Mental health issue is very important, especially after the pandemic that we went through for the past 18 months. I've been seeing firsthand a lot of people are suffering from different stuff, from staying at home and similar situations. I believe in partnership. I believe that the city should reach out to local professionals, organizations. For example, I belong to a local nonprofit that we do offer mental health programs. And we did actually reach out to the administration to provide those programs to seniors and hopefully maybe some schools too. So it's still in the work, but I do believe that like there is a lot of organization out there, a nonprofit organization that already have the programs that we don't have to pay for as a city. So we can just reach out to those organizations that already have the grants from the government, and they can provide those programs, such as the one I just mentioned, and we're trying to work on something like that. So I think that would go a long way in our city and provide the great help. Thank you.
All right, Nancy Breyer.
I agree with what the others have said, and I do think we should expand what services are available in our city. It should be notated by our first responders in the schools and in the churches, in every location when people are in need or have some of these difficulties. They should be offered assistance, and we should form a group, as it was suggested, that can help in this situation, whether they be young or old, no matter what causes the difficulty, so that they can be better understood and taken care of. Thank you.
Okay, Robert Costin.
Thank you, Gina. I agree with everyone else. As I started to mention, the Wayne County Mental Health Authority, after years of being really pretty inactive, has been reformed, and they're trying to make services available immediately. I think it's very important that our law enforcement agencies, our schools recognize when somebody has a mental health problem. The law has been changed a few years ago. There's something called Kevin's Law, where a family can bring someone and get them treatment without that person having to be committed. I think that having mental health services available at low or no cost is very important, and that includes substance abuse treatment. I was involved years ago with a nonprofit, and I was on the board called Teaching God's Children, that tried to get active in the south end of Dearborn Heights, Inkster, and Taylor. And we had an office, and then people went on, and the effort sort of died. But this is a very important issue, and we need to make services available immediately to someone who's having mental health problems.
All right. Okay, lastly, Rachel LaPointe. Did I do that right?
No, I already did it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll just make,
Yeah.
as you see, my numbering is off here. Okay, so let's go. That was it then. Let's go to our next question. Question number 6. And we will start off with Zahir Abdul Haq. And the question is, with half of the city budget going to one department, our city needs more money to go towards serving its neediest people, including mental health services, employment programs, etc. What will you do to divert more funds to those efforts and create more equitable spending and services?
Oh boy, that's what got me in trouble. I did question the police and fire pension. I did the question everything they were given to them, and I really don't care what's going to happen on November 2nd. I'm going to say what I have to say. I feel that we can save some money from at least the 5% interest which the city is given in guaranteeing the pension plan for the drop in the drop program, which I believe that it cost the city around $2 million a year, and nobody in the administration or the pension board or police or fire or anybody is able to give me answer where this money is coming from, except I found out that it is coming from the residents. If we can save that 5%, we don't guarantee it. We can give a break to the taxpayers for the next few years to solve lots of problems. That can divert at least $2 million a year to healthcare and to other projects needed in the city. I believe we have been very generous to our police and fire, and it is time for them to be a little bit fair with the residents.
10 seconds.
Thank you.
All right, great. Let's go to Hassan Ahmed.
I'm definitely in support that looking at the budget and making sure there's no money wasted in any department. Like I said before, I'm a big believer in partnership with different organizations to fund or not to fund, just to bring those programs to the city without even paying for it. There's so many different programs out there, whether it's on the local, county level, or state level, or even the federal level, that can help in the city without the city paying for it. like the example I gave earlier, the mental health program with this local nonprofit, and we have different programs like senior living and healthy living for kids, and more examples just like that. So like I said, partnering with different organizations throughout the city or the county or the state, I think will go a long way to help in the city programs without even paying for it. Thank you.
All right, next, Nancy Breyer.
Could we repeat that question, please?
Sure. With half of the city budget going to one department, our city needs more money to go towards servicing its neediest people, including mental health services, employment programs, etc. What will you do to divert more funds to those efforts and create a more equitable spending and services?
First, I would approach our grant writer, who is very good at finding money for almost any need that's happening. He's been bringing money into the city, and I'm sure he could find something that would help us. Also, we should possibly, as a group, as a council, as administrators of the city, do some research and find out what's available locally, what organizations are offering assistance, and make it a point to incorporate them in what we are trying to do to help those that are less fortunate in whatever capacity. Thank you.
All right, Miss Nancy, we're going to go to Robert Constant.
Thank you. I believe we need to partner with Wayne County and utilize the monies that are available at the state, county, and local level. I believe that when you say half of the budget going to one department, I believe that's public safety. So that would be police and fire. And we live in a more complicated society. The cost of everything are going up, but we have to make sure that the precious taxpayer dollars are used wisely. I've been a big advocate of partnering with our neighboring communities to provide certain services jointly with the neighboring communities when appropriate, things like mutual aid with our police and fire. I think that we can always look at scrutinizing and reorganizing what we spend on any department and making sure that those dollars are being spent cost effectively and there's not a less expensive way to deliver those same services. Thank you.
Okay, and lastly, Rachel LaPointe.
Thank you. So I think with our budget, it's hard all the time to figure out where we need to make cuts because so much of our budget goes towards essentially people. It goes to salaries, benefits, and all that. But it really is not equal right now. It's a significant amount going to just a couple departments. I know for me, one of the first things is evaluating what is getting approved and money budgeted that's actually not even being utilized. Our police, it was approved for them to purchase a software program for a dashboard to report on different statistics and stuff earlier this year, and it was at a cost of $13,000 per year. Which is a considerable amount that could go towards a lot of other things. And that was back in May, and 6 months later, we still have not seen that dashboard. So making sure that when the city council approves something, that it actually happens is one big thing. Otherwise, the numbers don't really mean anything. So going through and making sure that our spending is in line with what we are approving, and then making sure that all the expenses are necessary, and then really reprioritizing and saying, hey, are these the things that we need, or do we need to maybe put it somewhere else so that we can improve the lives of everyone? Thanks.
Okay, we're on to our next question And this question is going to start with Hassan Ahmed. The question reads, most candidates and current council members are from the north end of Dearborn Heights. What ways would you bridge the gap in communication, resources, and development between all areas of Dearborn Heights?
I mean, it just happened that probably I live in North Dearborn Heights, but if I'm elected, I'll be representing the whole city. To bring the whole city together, I think it starts with leadership. I think it starts at the council chamber. I think all the council people needs to get together and have meeting of the mind and work as one unified team and have an open dialogue with all the departments and making sure that the departments are covering the whole city and listening to all, whether north side or south side, listening to all residents' concerns and needs. And making sure that they build a bridge or cover the gap between the council chamber and the administration, and making sure the administration is reaching out to all residents in any part of the city, and making sure that all residents' voice is heard and their needs is being satisfied. Thank you.
Okay, just one housekeeping issue. When you're not speaking, can you please make sure your phone is on mute? All right, next we're going to have Nancy Breyer.
Oops, I just muted. Okay, I'm unmuted now. And one suggestion I have is that we start working more with our neighborhood associations. They are at both ends of the city. They discuss many issues that are pertinent to the entire city. And I suggest that we somehow manage to photograph these in form of taping the meetings so that they can be seen by people who do not or cannot attend such. And I think that would be a great way to outreach to the entire city and let them know what's happening in all the areas of our town. Another possibility would be for the council to do something that would help with the situation by making sure that everyone feels welcome and involved. Thank you very much.
Okay, so next we have Robert Constant.
Thank you, Gina. I too live in the south end of the city. I have a law practice here on Ford Road in the north end of the city. And there are most issues that are in the interest of all residents of the city, our property taxes, our water rates, our police and fire protection. There are some issues that are unique to the south end, some to the north end, accessible parks and programs for our youth and for our seniors. I agree with the other candidate that neighborhood associations are very important and that the mayor and the council be able to get around and talk to the different neighborhood associations and the people there and hear what their concerns are. But we are one city, north and south, and I've always tried, both when I was state representative and on the council, to represent everyone in the city of Dearborn Heights. Thank you.
Okay, so next, Rachel LaPointe.
I think that we need to work on making sure that all of our recreation activities and things like our concerts and stuff, that there's opportunities for all of that on both ends of the city. A lot of our things, we have a community center on both ends. We have a senior center on both ends. There's parks on both ends, but we need to make sure that there's things that are fun to do on both ends. And then the other big thing for me is making sure that our commercial districts, even though they're not very large compared to some other cities in our area, that it's an equitable thing. Drive down Ford Road, drive down Warren, and then go drive down Van Born and Beach Daily in the south end, and you will easily see the difference between the two. And it's not even just with, the streets or whatever. It's about attracting businesses that we want to see. There's not a grocery store really close by me. I'm going over to Taylor to go to the Kroger here in the South End. There's different things that it's a very different vibe, and making sure that our South End is not, it doesn't feel like a totally different city. It's going to be a big thing that helps the two ends of the city feel like one place. So working on that would be a priority for me.
Okay, next, Zahir Abdul Haq.
Okay, can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. I drove several times through the South End. It looks like different city than the north side of the city. That is a true fact. Roads are not taken care of. Flood is all over the place. Lots of houses, they look like, in a ghetto. It's not because the people really are bad. I believe they all good people and they all good, neighbors. The city in the South End has been ignored for years and years by all the previous administration. This is the first time I see Mayor Bazzi go to the South End and look at what's going on. And he's trying really very hard with the city council to allocate more money for the South End, to buy more houses, to basically relieve the flood problem in the South End. The city council must allocate money for all the programs in the south side because they need it a lot more than the north side.
Okay, thank you. I think I got everyone on that question. So we're going to move to the next question. And this one we'll start with Nancy Breyer. The question is, in light of the new derogatory comments from a paid partner to the city about a person with a disability, what will your allyship and advocacy look like for your disabled residents? You're on mute.
Yeah, that is a loaded question, and I believe I was there when that comment was made. These things should not happen, and they should be attended to, and the people should be excluded that present that type of question in public. Wherever it happens, whoever's doing it. And we should go out of our way to make sure more people can feel more comfortable wherever we are having meetings, gatherings, and they should not be treated in such a manner. That's not the reputation we want for this city. We will do better through our council, our administration, and others to get this turned around. It should not happen here. Thank you.
Okay, Robert Constance.
Dina, thank you. I agree with the other candidate that we need to make sure our facilities are accessible to all residents, all children and adults who have disabilities. We have a disability commission in Dearborn Heights, which started off being pretty active, and I hope it stays active. Any vendor with the city that expresses any type of discrimination or bad remarks about a individual because of their race, color, creed, or if they have special needs, that vendor should not be used by the city. Protection against discrimination is protected by federal law, the American with Disabilities Act, and also by state law. And the city must be vigilant to enforce those laws and make sure all our facilities are accessible to everyone, including those with disabilities, including our
10
restroom
seconds.
facilities. I think that's particularly important. I have a father who's going to be 96, who it's hard for him to get out. Thank you.
All right. Okay, thanks. Next, we have Rachel Lapointe.
I think this is a simple answer. Anytime a vendor or someone that the city is giving money to in any way does something that's so clearly derogatory and discriminatory to someone, we end that relationship with them. We end that contract. We do not pay them anymore, and we don't hire them again unless and until they show that they are sorry for what they did and that they have changed. We cannot allow this to happen. I mean, it's just that simple for me. As a parent, there are things that when your kids do them, you're just like, no, we don't do that. And there's going to be serious consequences. And for me, any sort of discrimination from someone that the city is giving money to, it can't happen. So that might not be a popular thing to say. But I think as a representative of the city, that has to be the standard that we hold. That for me, there's just no other answer. So that would be the first thing. And then obviously, of course, making sure that our parks are accessible, making sure that everything in the city is accessible, and enforcing that, especially with our private businesses, and making sure that they are making everything available to everyone is going to be a huge thing, and it's going to be a lot of work, but I think we can do it.
All right, great. So let's go with who is next? Zahir Abdul Haq. You're muted.
Okay. Thank you, Gina. To me, the lawyer, when they take the oath of office, I consider them officers of the court. Their job is to uphold the Constitution, which means respect everyone, no matter what color, what religion, whatever is their physical disability. They treat them with respect. And just before I came to the Zoom meeting, I spoke to the chairperson, Mrs. Denise Maxwell, and we agreed to put resolution. She's putting it forward, and I'm sponsoring this resolution to bring this issue to the table on the 26th of October, because the right place to discuss this and to take care action is the city council. And as city council member, I am in support of that. And I will support that we terminate our work with this gentleman. Even, I know him for a long, long time, and I'm just very, very surprised this such kind of words comes from his mouth. So it's going to be discussed. It's going to be taken care of on the 26th, and I hope it will be to the satisfaction of everybody.
Okay, great. Lastly, we have Hassan Ahmed.
This is definitely not acceptable. I do agree with all the candidates today for whatever they said. As a person in leadership, we need to work on eliminating barriers that prevent the full participation of all residents. All city buildings and parks need to be accessible. And I think these questions bring us to the equity in the forum today, which is providing to the needs of the residents, not what we like them to have, but basically provide them with the needs that they're looking for. Thank you.
Okay, we did that in record time. We are finished with all the questions that we had submitted and that we have to go over today. So right now we're ready for our closing remarks. So at this time, the candidates can make a 1-minute closing statement. Are you guys ready? All right, so we're going to start with, let's see, where were we in the rotation? Nancy Breyer, you can go up first and give your closing statement.
Okay, all set. Well, I'm glad we had the discussion regarding these issues. The DEI was originally formed to develop and promote strategies, best practices within the realms of racial, social, sexual, and gender diversity. This is very much needed in today's marketplace and everywhere else. Back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, we had affirmative action. That was an attempt to level the playing field. Apparently, some considered it a quota system, and it caused quite a stir at colleges and universities. This is a great program, and it should be continued in schools and workplaces alike. Now, what I'd like to also discuss is the fact of what priorities I have as a candidate. Being from the South End, one of the main things I have issue with is we need improvement of the Ecorse Creek, and we also need in the North End the Middle Lower Rouge flooding issues. We need the Van Born Corridor in the South End. I thought I had a whole minute. No?
Yeah, that was 1 minute.
That was a
Oh, wow,
minute.
that was fast. Thank you.
Sorry about that, but yeah, it was a minute. All right, so after Nancy, let's go to Robert Constant. I don't know if you're speaking, but we can't hear you.
I just unmuted myself. And thank you, Gina, and thank you, the Community and Cultural Relations Commission and the NAACP of Western Wayne for organizing this forum. It's important in this election that we have forums like this and discuss important issues and not have a lot of bashing back and forth and people talking about each other, because these are important issues that we as elected officials face. The city of Dearborn Heights has enjoyed an increase in their population of about 5,000 people. This year, the city is going to have plenty of money. It's important that we make improvements, this money be spent wisely, and things like diversity and openness be encouraged. So thank you, and don't forget to vote on November 2nd.
Time.
All righty, next we have Rachel Lapointe.
Thank you, Gina, for moderating tonight. Thank you, Heather, for keeping time, and thank you to LaTanya for being here as well, and the whole commission for putting this on. I went to the District 7 school board meeting. They had a presentation on DEI work that they're working on, and the ladies that were speaking did a great explanation, and I just wanted to share it as kind of a closing thing. So they said diversity is all our differences. Equity is making sure that everybody's invited to the party that's going on, and inclusion is making sure that everyone has a voice in planning the party. And I just hope that, like, my hope for the city is that every resident can feel heard and have their differences celebrated, and then we can all have just a great community where we're all welcomed and we all have input and say in what's going on here. So as my the other candidate said, get out there and vote on November 2nd. Thanks.
All right, next we have Zahir Abdul Haq. You must be muted.
Mute. Can you hear me now?
Okay, all righty.
Okay. I said thank you for the organizers and the participants. I appreciate all what you have done. This is very important issue, and residents need to hear what we say. I have attended the city council continuously for 17 years. I have excellent knowledge of the budget, of all the functions of all departments. I served as a treasurer, which gave me insight about everything happening from the time we take a dollar in until it is spent and how the process goes. I am not afraid to say what's on my mind. Everybody knows that I am always open book. I am not afraid to say what I think, whether it is right or wrong, or it's going to upset people or not. I always cared for
10
the
seconds.
residents, and I hope that I earn their vote on November 2nd.
All right, okay. And lastly, Hassan Ahmed.
Thank you again, everyone, for an amazing event. My bid for City Council is the ideal opportunity to invest my experience, time, and efforts to help advance our city and families. I strongly believe that my educational background, extensive work experience, and relationships with diverse communities, strong ethics, and passion for public service make me the right candidate for this office, which I take very seriously and have tremendous respect for. I will work to ensure that every resident will have their voice heard because our residents deserve better. I'm committed to seeing our city continue to grow and prosper. I hope to win your vote on or before November 2nd. God bless you all and have a nice evening. Thank you.
All right, thank you guys. That actually ends all of our questions and your 1-minute comments. So my closing remarks, and then we'll be done for today. On behalf of the Dearborn Heights Community and Cultural Relations Commission and the Western Wayne NAACP, the candidates, we appreciate the commitment it takes for you to run for office. And we would like to thank you to all who participated. To the Dearborn Heights residents, please remember to vote. The polls will open on Tuesday, November 2nd, from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Absentee ballots are available now from the city clerk's office for any reason. Please visit vote411.org and michiganmi.gov/vote for additional information about all candidates on the November 2nd ballot. And that ends our candidate forum for today. I thank you guys for participating, and that will do it. Be safe out there. Bye. So. Okay, stop the recording.